Good evening, everybody. David and I, we're back, and tonight Max wants to join us, and we're going to be talking about mental health. For those of you who do not know, I worked in psychiatry did that for 6 or 7 years in patient. So I saw people at the worst, and it was pretty rough. Uh, David, I'm sure you've come across a couple breakdowns here or there.
I had a couple of my own too.
Yeah, exactly. Whether it be a war zone or wherever it may be, I'm sure you've seen quite a lot. Tonight, maybe we'll talk about some basics of mental health. We don't want to go. We were just discussing before the call started that we don't want to go too much into the weeds, guys. I know it can get really rough in mental health. You can get into some really tough stuff, and we're not here to diagnose you. We're not here to treat you with medication. We just want to, you know, bring up the subject and make sure that people know that it's out there. And you might see someone on the street and you think they're perfectly fine, but they're struggling within. So, you know, that's the situation we're in. So, David said he put together a little list. David, let's start with a couple of the different subjects and maybe give some stories for each one.
Okay, well, let's see. Well, right now, let's just talk about stress. That's a big one. Stress for lots of different things, right? It doesn't really matter what age group you are. That's a stressor. There's relationship stress. There's work stress. There's financial stress. There's you
Wife
name it.
stress.
Yeah. There's stress for everything, and a lot of it. I mean, there's a cycle, right? Like you won't just be stressed. It's like the Kubler Ross type, you know, recognition, acceptance, bartering, the whole cycle there, the 5 stages. So it's not just a stress, you'll get depressed, you'll get anxious, it all cycles around over and over again. So they all kind of tie in together. We'll just talk about each one separately, just some of the basic symptoms and stuff that we can have, because it's not just always mental, right? You can have physical uh, manifestations from your mental uh, standing. Your how you're feeling mentally. There's one which I had the word in front of me and then I forgot it. It
For
sounds.
me, for
Did I get?
my big symptom, I
Yeah,
usually know when I'm
but
having
it's
some
it's
issues.
it's it's basically known as broken heart syndrome, where
Okay.
people have to go through a really bad breakup or another stressful event, and their heart will literally mimic a heart attack. So they've done things like they've pulled markers. Oh, I have a heart attack. They go in for chest pain. They'll do the markers. Their heart is fine, but the stress, the emotional and mental stress that they're going through makes the body think that it's having one, and it'll show up on like your CKMB, your troponin 1, your troponin 2. Those will show up on those markers for having an actual heart attack, even though you're perfectly healthy. So that's just one type of physical manifestation that can happen from having mental issues. Um,
For
but
me,
there's ways, of course, to mitigate it. And I think we're all I'll broadly go over each of those. Um, and there are things you can do to mitigate it. Depression, of course, being a main one. Uh, and it's really funny. And I've only done a few of these so far, but it pretty much always comes back to your lifestyle choices, your exercise, your diet, uh, your activity level, all of those things. I mean, those, in my opinion, those are your basic fundamental building blocks for your body and mind. As long as you are living healthy, I mean, don't get me wrong, you're still going to get depressed, you're still going to get anxious, you're still going to get stressed, but you'll weather it better, you'll bounce back better. Um, Another thing to remember, speaking from going through some of these myself over and over again and reflecting on them, it's a very selfish uh, illness. When you're depressed, you're thinking about yourself. You're focused on yourself. You're really not paying too much attention around to the people around you or listening to them. So it's a very enclosed system. and let's get it straight. It's we are our own worst critics. We always have been. It's very rare that people will think better of themselves or be less critical of themselves than others. Usually, those people are called sociopaths. But yeah, that's we tend to be harder on ourselves than others. So just try to keep that in mind. If you are going through problems where you think you're fat, you think you're ugly, you think you're unsuccessful, you think you're a failure, or any of these other things, that is literally all in your head. You need to look at other people and get that feedback from them. Maybe you don't have a lot of friends, maybe you're kind of a loner, um, but we still do reach out to people. We still have, now with technology, we have the internet, we have our online friends. My buddy's wife, when he passed away, she was a real big gamer, and she found a lot of solace in her gaming community with, I think it was StarCraft. So they were there for her support, even though they weren't physically there to hug her and say everything's okay. They were there online for that support for her. So that's one of the benefits for those of you that maybe aren't that sociable. Um, but it is important to reach out and talk to people to get that feedback, to find a grounding point for yourself. Absolutely.
For me, it
You're
was.
mute.
Am I? How am I mute?
I can't hear you.
Weird.
Nada.
Hold on.
Well,
How's
keep
that?
going then until you can figure it out.
Yeah? No?
I can't hear you. Does anyone else hear him?
Whoa. Yeah, it should be working. How's that?
Nope. Well, I'm still Randy. Oh, you hear Randy? I guess it's just me.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know what
it's
happened
just
here.
you because it says I'm fine.
Let me see if it comes in now.
Hello,
I can see Max waving. I can't hear anybody.
Hey,
It might be me.
go out and come back in real quick.
Yeah, I'll pop out and pop back in.
Yeah, that was weird.
It's weird. I don't know why it happened.
Yeah, I was just saying that. Here, let me see if I can wait for David to come back in.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, I worked in psych for many years and inpatient, and I was a 16-hour guy, so I would do the evenings and overnights. So I had a lot of quiet time with not just myself, but with my patients. Sitting around in the TV room, just talking to folks. And I really got to see people heal and get better. How's that?
Let's see if this works.
Yes, no, yes. How do I tell him? Check his. He needs to check his speaker.
Oh, now I hear you.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Weird. So I was just telling everyone, that when I was working in the inpatient, I worked the overnights. I would go in at 3 p.m. and work till 7 a.m. That was the shift I liked, 16 hours. And I would do that 4 or 5 days a week. And I liked overtime. Overtime was good. I would sit in the TV room with the patients, all the way up until 10 p.m. when we would close it down for them to go to bed. And I really got to know people. I got to watch them when they first came in, all the way till they left. From the point, sometimes people wanted to hurt me very bad, and then by the end, we were friends.
You got a good story to tell.
No.
Why?
No, you don't.
Why?
No, you're not telling a story. I don't know what's going to come out of his mouth.
No, you say the story.
I'm not going to tell the story.
Yeah.
This is YouTube, and I want to make sure I don't lose my channel. So I don't want to say anything that's inappropriate or could affect HIPAA or anything like that, right? Because he knows all my stories of working in the psych unit. He does.
Almost all of them.
Yeah. The only ones he doesn't know are the ones that get a little bit X-rated. Don't involve me, just stuff I see. But yeah, you get to know the people, and a lot of it is self-talk. a lot of people, they just bury themselves in self-talk, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And you're just trying to save them from the edge.
Yep.
I've had multiple suicides happen, not when I was working, but patients that I was over months of just taking care of them, and they end up not making it. I had one jump off a 7th floor parking garage in Tampa.
What?
Max, could you go outside, please? I told you this was going to be serious. So go with mom, okay? He can't. He just doesn't understand. Can you close the door for me? Yeah. Sorry, guys. Kids don't understand this topic. So yeah, I had a patient do a swan dive off the parking garage like a week after I left working at Tampa General. It's like really sad to hear, but all the signs were there. And when a person says that they want to take their life, they take it serious, because they'll tell you 20 times, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to kill myself. And that's why we immediately put people in, called the Baker Act in Florida, where we put you on
mental health hold. Yeah,
mental health hold. We take you in for 3 days minimum, because we want to make sure that kind of stuff doesn't happen. I don't know but I know we were talking about the different types, and want to get back to that. But I did go on a segue there and tell a story.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, the other thing to kind of remember is there's again those basic building blocks that I've been bringing up again and again, like the exercise. Obviously, exercise will be good for you because you'll get those endorphin releases. You'll start improving your physical shape. You'll start feeling better about yourself. Your immune system will start picking up. Your feeling self-worth, your self-image, your ego, if you will start improving. Those obviously help. Getting out in the sun. I lived in Alaska. Man, cabin fever's a thing. And when people were doing the lockdowns for COVID, they were having some serious problems because they weren't allowed to go outside. They weren't allowed to get in the sun. And studies have proven that vitamin D, which is produced by going out in the sun in just as little as just 20 minutes, greatly increases your mood and your lessens the feelings of depression. That's why Pacific Northwest, Wisconsin during the winter, Alaska, all those places, they get cloudy and overcast and don't get much sun. Those people, they have a lot of problems with that.
I'm from Rochester, New York. I know it well.
I do that too. Exactly. I think
Toronto.
I think it was sunny like 5 days the month I was there. So yeah, I mean, it gets you. It gets you. So, and like I said, even if you are kind of a loner and they stay online a lot and stuff like that, you need to get out in the sun. You need to get out in the sun or get the light treatments or something like that for you. Your body needs it.
I got a quick story for that. So I used to live in what's called Panama Pacifico. It's the old U.S. Air Force Base, and that was during COVID. And there was one of my neighbors in a building across from mine. One night we hear screaming on the balcony. This is during the lockdowns. Panama, the lockdowns were much worse than many other countries. It was terrible here. We were only allowed to go out for 4 hours a week, based on our number of our cedula or our identification number. And this guy, at about 3 months in, he just lost his shit. Just lost it. He's on his balcony, he's the 3rd floor up, just absolutely screaming. They had to call the fire department, call the police to come help him, and never saw him again after that. It was really, really weird. He just disappeared.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I lost my job over that too. And I was fortunate because I saw the signs and I was able to get up to my house in the mountains where we had a yard, so I had fresh air and get out and walk around the acre that we have. But that not working, that wears on you. So yeah. I felt so claustrophobic because the apartment we were living in, Maximus, and is that you pinging me or somebody else pinging me? What's that mean?
Oh no, it's WhatsApp.
Yeah.
God, WhatsApp on your computer is a pain in the butt. So, our apartment was much smaller. Maximus was only just under 2 years old at the time, so it was hell for us. It was so small, and thank God he wasn't old enough to realize what was happening. But I would sneak him outside. I'd have neighbors yelling at me from the balcony, "Get back in the house!" and we're calling security. Freaking people, man. It was for your mental health. It wasn't good, and I ended up getting the cops called on me. That's why we moved to Mexico, because they kept threatening to call the police on me and stuff. But dude, my mental health was deteriorating fast. My wife was actually worse than me. She was just anxiety all over. It wasn't because of the COVID. It was because of being stuck in the house.
Mm-hmm.
It was driving her nuts, and she still has the PTSD to this day. We all live with the PTSD, and that's why we moved to Mexico, costing us probably about $50K and all of our household goods, because we gave everything away. Moved to Mexico, bought all new stuff, lasted there 6 months or 7 months, got rid of all that again, and moved back to Panama and had to buy all new things. It was like oh my God, such a absolute waste. And my mental health really declined. It caused anxiety, it caused depression. It wasn't good. But thank God my kid wasn't old enough to even know what happened.
Yeah, no, he's fortunate. Yeah. And just from like we were talking about the whole mind over matter thing, it's been this is actually a fairly old study, but it's been proven that when you're depressed, your white blood cells move 50% slower. So you're more inclined, you're more inclined to get sick. You're more inclined to stay sick. The severity of your illness will get worse. I mean, it's kind of it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So that's another reason to keep upbeat. And I mean, I don't know who's watching this. I've had friends that have committed suicide. I've had teammates that I've worked with commit suicide. It's hard to tell. One of the guys, one of the biggest jokers I knew, one of the biggest comedians, always, full of life and funny and everything else. He pulled the trigger on himself once, one night when nobody else was around, but we, looking back on it, I saw, then I started seeing the signs. He was quietly going around saying goodbye to everyone. So he was preparing himself, but he did it over the course of like a year and a half. That he'd already made his decision. Some other guys that I worked with over in Iraq and that, they just, again, always seemed like really upbeat, cheerful people. And then the next thing you know, I'm getting a message like, "Oh, hey, so-and-so is dead." So, everyone is different. Just because, what you consider something minor doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be minor for the other person. A big one is, of course, the breakup. I don't know why he's all broken up over her. I mean, so what, or him? That's not that big of a deal. Well, it might not be to you, but it's like I tell my patients when they come to see me, what is it today that made you come see me? What is significant today? So if it's a significant thing for them, it's a significant thing.
Of course. Take everything serious.
Yep.
On the healthcare side, when someone says you have to, it's not a joke.
No.
There's a whole thing of true. Crying wolf is true. All right. Mm-hmm. That's going to happen, but you don't want to miss that 1 out of 30.
Yeah.
That is really bad.
Really good case in point. We've got my wife's grandmother living with us. She's 92. She has dementia. That lady has zero fucks. She doesn't care about anything. Half the time, she doesn't even know what's going on. I will tell you, I can count on one hand in the 5 years she's been here how many times she's been sick. The rest of us will be laid out, puking, sweating, fever, whatever. Nothing happens to her.
She's bulletproof.
She is. She's going to outlive me.
It's probably because she doesn't worry about anything, right?
Exactly. So, yeah. So, I mean, like I said, there's the getting back to kind of beating the dead horse. A lot of it is, it's not you. They're look to the outside people, ground yourself, get some feedback from your external sources, your friends, your family, people you interact with at work. Just because you feel bad about yourself, they're still there. They still want you around. They still appreciate you, regardless of how you feel about yourself. If you're not happy with the way things are with you, you don't have to make huge plans. Just make little plans. Just go for a walk. Go try swimming again. Don't worry.
Get a cat.
Get a cat. Whatever. People, I get some pretty weird looks. Randy saw the photos I sent. My daughter decided to paint my toenails, and they look like they were painted by a 3-year-old.
They're bright red too.
And they're bright red. That's right. It looks literally like someone ripped off all my toenails, and they're still actively bleeding. And I walk down the street. People are giving me, weird looks. I'm walking around in my flip flops and stuff. And I don't care. Whatever, And then people ask me like, "Oh, is everything okay?" It looks like that. What's that stuff called? Mercurochrome from the 70s and 80s. It was that red stuff they used to put on open wounds that stung like the britches.
Yeah, yes.
It's that color. It's
God.
that color, that weird, like bright red, like fresh blood look.
Well, we live in a bohemian neighborhood. It's okay here. It's okay to be, anything you want to be in our neighborhood. So
yeah. Except these are. I mean, there's a lot of overspray. Let's just say with the paint. So
that's funny.
So anyway. And people have looked at me and I've been like, my daughter painted my nails. And they're like, oh, okay, now everything makes sense.
I never had that problem with my son. He just paints the walls. It's too quiet. Where is he?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's lots of things that we can do for ourselves that just remember, this is temporary. Just like breaking your leg is temporary. It takes some time, but you will once again get over it. And if it's cyclical, it is. Just you have to accept it and move with it. It's like stretching, exercising, all those things. When you first started doing it, hurts like the dickens. But after a while, you do fit into that groove. And there is some truth to the whole fake it until you make it. People can literally tell that. Then they've done studies for this. If you smile when you're talking into the phone, even if you don't even mean it, people can sense it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there is some credibility to that, and after a while, you'll start believing it yourself. So those are other factors. And again, if you guys are having some serious problems, reach out to someone. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to Randy. I know we're going to put in the crisis helpline for some of you. Those things, they're there for a reason. People do care. They really do, and they're there for you. If you're not ready to do that, the things you can do at home, the exercise, the walking, the adequate sleep, the hydration, do the vitamin D supplements. You can yoga, meditation and mindfulness does wonders. That's a really, really good one. Those things help a lot. When I ran ambulance and I was working nights and it was winter, I just wanted a hot meal. So for like a month and a half or so, I was doing pretty much like the nightly Taco Bell, McDonald's, that sort of thing. I started feeling like crap, man. Like I felt like low grade fighting something off 24/7. I had zero energy. I was super lethargic, and my mental health started deteriorating. It got really like salty and bitter and negative towards my patient care. Then I started going back to the gym, started making my own meals, bringing them to work, sticking them we were working out at the parking lots of gas stations, so I'd take it into the microwave at the gas station and heat that up and eat that, and some fresh fruits and veg and stuff like that. And after about a month, it starts out. Now, are there medications for it? Absolutely there are. Of course, you have to go and see a licensed medical professional, but even those, there's no immediate quick fix for those, dude. There's, you want to get on some of those, it's going to take some of those medications 3 to 6 weeks to uptake you to that therapeutic level. So there is no instant cure.
And then who knows what the side effects are going to be.
Exactly. And as far as like alcohol and drugs, the way I look at those, like, don't get me wrong, I'll still have a beer. But my philosophy towards that is if I'm drinking beer that night, I'm stealing or I'm borrowing the happiness from tomorrow. So the more I drink tonight, the happier I'll be tonight, the more miserable I'll be the following day. And that's kind of my approach with the drugs and alcohol. So I tend to try to limit that. So
That's a good plan.
Yeah.
Here in Panama, the access to the white powder is too easy for a lot of people.
Oh my God. There. I'm not going to throw out any names, but there is a valet at a certain hotel. Everybody knows this guy. Everybody. So.
Is it in my neighborhood? Is it around here?
No.
Okay,
it's not. It's another very cosmopolitan neighborhood. So it's a lot of tourists there.
I've seen a lot of people go down. You wouldn't believe, guys, how many people actually move to Panama just for that, the access to those kind of things. And you know them when you see them. As a former psych nurse, I know an addict when I see him. So there goes one. I remember I met one my first day working here in this country. It was back in 2011, May 2011, my first day at the job. And the guy came in the office. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing for lunch?" Nothing. He goes, "Hey, come with me. We'll take a drive around town. I have a bunch of errands to run." And oh my God, the guy talked like this. He wouldn't stop talking. I said to myself, "Dude, this guy's a coke addict." So yeah, he was, and still probably to this day.
Yeah. No, I'll see guys on the street and I'll be like, I'm not sure if he has the coke sweats or the alcohol sweats. Maybe both. Hard to tell.
Hey, that was another thing that happened during COVID. A lot of people, I know in the US it was no problem, but they went dry in Panama. You couldn't buy it. You couldn't buy booze. You know how many people can die from that? That is one of the worst withdrawals you'll ever see. I've seen poor people pissing all over themselves. I don't want to, I know this might sound disgusting because it's healthcare stuff, but if you never worked in a hospital, one of the worst things you could witness is someone dying or going through a withdrawal.
DTs, yeah.
Yeah, it's the most terrible thing. You feel so bad for them, and you know that all they need is one drink and they'll be clear of it. But you can't help them in any way. You just got to let them go through it.
Yeah,
monitor the situation.
Yeah,
I used to do something called 1-to-1s, where there'd be the bad people because I worked in psych, right? So the nurses on the floor, they can't handle psych patients, but sometimes psych patients have to be on the floor because we can't treat them like they can at ICU or other places, right? So they need one of us to go work as a 1-to-1 with the patients. Oh my God, the stuff I've seen doing 1-to-1s. The people going through withdrawals and absolute depression. I had one patient, once again, Tampa. Tampa was wild, especially during 2008 during the crisis. It was 2007 and 2008 during the financial crisis. I had a patient who his son had died. It was his only son. It was the equivalent of my son dying, right? And he was suicidal. So he came in and we treated him for about 2 weeks, got him supposedly back to normal. But he was one of these patients that kept telling us, "Look, I'm suicidal." And I told the head nurse, I'm like, "Look, we can't discharge this guy. He says he's going to do it. He's 50 something years old. He doesn't have a job. His son just committed suicide. He is the worst kind of situation we can have." They discharged him when I was off. The day I was off. That night I came into work. Guess who got assigned to 1-to-1 up in the regular floor? I went up and there he was. He took a freaking like a Japanese sword, like the mini ones, and just gutted himself. Freaking gutted himself. And I had to sit there with him all night. I was yelling at him. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I said, I can't believe you're doing it. Do you know how many people you're affecting? And that was one of the times where I broke as a nurse. I was like, I cannot believe I just wasted my 2-3 weeks of my time with this guy, sitting with him every day, having the conversations we have, the mental health conversations, and then the day he's out, he tries to gut himself. What's that Japanese thing where you get on your knees and you he was trying to do that to himself, and he missed the aorta, thank God. Jeez.
Yeah. No, it's no joke. It's no joke, and I'll say that. I mean, we used to get guys. We'd run sometimes every other day, usually like once a week, once every 2 weeks, or every 3 weeks. Get the guy, it's suicide, go to the hospital, 3 days, he's out. And then one day you're like, "Hey, I wonder what happened to Mark or whatever his name is." oh, he killed himself.
Yeah.
And I mean, medics, we do have kind of a harder view at stuff where we're just, it's not right for us to do this, but it's kind of the one of the ways we deal with it as well, is with just kind of the acceptance of, it's almost like a relief for us, because it is, we know they're hurting, and so it's release for them, and it's a relief for them, but in the same way it's also a release and relief for us, because it is a stressful thing, because you do get sick of it. It's hard to be patient with that kind of person. That's why it's good to have a large group of people, because you can't just sit there and bend someone's ear 24/7 about your problems. I mean, do so. Do talk to people, but get the feedback and try to learn it and take it to heart. So if they have something that they're like trying to help you, try to take that into your, you know, consideration for bettering yourself. Again, this will pass.
You don't have to be a healthcare professional to help other people.
No.
Especially for mental health stuff, you just have to be able to listen.
Yeah.
Listening is one of the best things you could do. Just let people talk. Even if you don't have
house parties are great.
What's that?
That's why house parties are great.
House parties?
Yeah, everyone sits down, they get on the couch or in the kitchen, and they're sitting there talking. And I mean, yeah, the booze might be flowing or what have you, but 3 a.m. in the kitchen, man, a lot of people have found some pretty good enlightenment.
That is true. I would say that. Yeah, just those late nights with your friends and stuff.
Yep. Or even new acquaintances.
Yeah, absolutely. I do have a story that I want to tell about this situation. So I was working at a cell phone store when I first got out of the Navy. It's not when I worked at Sprint, but this was like a private cell phone store back when you had like 6 different carriers, so we had everything. I was in Columbus, Ohio, and my boss of the store, I did not know. At that time, I didn't know much about mental health. I was a EMT. I worked in the Navy. I worked with all healthy people, just doing physicals, ear tests, exams, and that kind of stuff. So, I knew how to draw blood. I knew all that kind of stuff. But I never really dealt with mental health. So my boss, every day he was always glum, right? He was just like one of these guys that was really depressed all the time. And I didn't know what to do about it. I would say hi to him, I'd ask him how he's doing. He wouldn't say anything. He just very quiet. One of those types, those hardcore stoic people. But not stoic in the way of strong, stoic in that he just didn't want to talk about stuff. And one day I opened the store by myself, and you guys remember Bow Wow, the singer? Little Bow Wow? He was a rapper from 2000 up, like
I listen to rap.
Yeah, well, I was always into hip hop. I grew up in the inner city, so Bow Wow's he was famous. Well, he's from Columbus, Ohio, and he came in the store that day with his mother. He was, I think, about 15 or 16 at the time. It's when he first got going in music industry. I said, "Hey," I said, "Wow, you're Bow Wow, aren't you?" He's like, "Yeah, it's me." I said, "Cool." I said, "What do you want?" So he bought a Nextel phone from me with his mom, and we sat there chit-chatting. And I tie this into the depression thing, because like 5 minutes after he left the store, I got a phone call that my manager had killed himself. So that was like, I'll never forget that day of my life. It was so traumatizing. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, "Oh, Randy, so-and-so, he didn't make it. He killed himself last night." And I'm like, what the freak? It's only me and him. So I went from being the regular employee to, just the employee, to them being the boss / employee of the store. And I had just met Bow Wow. So what a weird day. And it's one of those things that'll stick in my head forever. Other people's mental health has effect on you. So you might as well try to help them in some way. And doesn't mean you have to fix it. All you have to do is hear it, listen, and offer your ear or try to offer your ear. Like my boss, I tried to offer my ear. He wouldn't do it. He didn't care. I'm a devout Christian. I was a youth leader at my church. I was open to talking to him about anything he wanted to, but he didn't want to hear it, and that's how things played out.
Yeah, no, it's again some of the happiest people you see on the street or at work. They're fighting their own demons. A lot of them, not all of them. I mean, some people are authentically just happy people. I had so I wasn't here last week because I had to go up to the farm, and that drive just wears you out. So that's why I wasn't able to join yesterday. I was here last week. I was just way too tired. But I went up with a buddy of mine, wanted to see the farm, and we were talking. And he's also a business owner, and he said one of the guys he used to really look up to, and this man has had. If anyone was ever felt they were being singled out by God for the smite, it was this dude. Like his kid was killed, divorced, had cancer like 4 times. I mean,
he's another Job.
Yeah, I mean, just, and he's like, I just couldn't believe like this guy was always upbeat. He was always positive, and I didn't see him for a while. He was almost like a mentor for me, and I saw him after about like 20 years or so, through a friend of a friend, and so we were reconnecting. And he's just like, I asked him, I was like, how is it that you just keep smiling? And the guy goes, what choice do I have?
Yeah.
I mean, it's my choice. I mean, it takes work. Every day I wake up and I put that smile on my face because what else am I going to do? And he's right. I mean,
drown in your emptiness or your sorrows. And,
I sit here and navel gaze and do the pity party. I mean, you can do that, but it doesn't benefit you. It does benefit you to stay positive.
Yeah, I deal with that. I deal with that with my wife. She's a worrywart, right? She's always worried about everything. Yeah, you are too. Oh, David, you are too. There comes a point sometimes that I just want to slap you. You start worrying about stuff. But my wife, you guys are very much alike in that way, and I have to tell her, I'm like, look, has there ever been a moment when you didn't have what you needed, or your extended family didn't have what they needed? Because she always worries about her family, right? Because they're not well off. One brother supports mom, dad, her disabled sister, and her other brother. So 5 people supported by 1. That, and then we help when we can, right? But she's always worrying, and it drives me crazy because I'm not a worrier. I'm the opposite. I'm just, here we are. We'll make it another day. Don't worry. And you gotta be respectful of how other people live their life.
Yeah.
Be understanding of how they live their life.
There was one of the chats in here saying allowing another person to feel heard. That you're absolutely right. I mean, there is a validation that is very pertinent. I mean, people, they need to vent, but they need to be acknowledged that, this is where you are. I recognize that. I accept that. Doesn't mean you have to stay there.
No, have your boundaries. You got to have boundaries.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, there's the mental things. I mean, people literally build their entire career on those. My original major was similar. I was a psych major, but it was a whole different branch of psych. But we did, cover that in university and stuff. So I always thought that the best shrink, the best office to go for therapy should be a coffee shop. And we just sit down with a cup of coffee and you talk. And that just seems like that's the place to do it.
Or if you live in Panama, go hang out underneath a palm tree on the Caribbean side with a coconut. That works too.
Yeah, pretty much the beach in general. But just like I said, there's little things you can do. You can set little boundaries or set little goals or whatever it is that allows you to get that control back in your life. That maybe you're feeling helpless, maybe you're feeling bad. There's a meme that it's in Spanish, but it says it's an advertisement on the street, and it's tired of being fat and ugly, just be ugly, and there's an arrow pointing at a gym, which I thought was hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good marketing.
Yeah. So, there's a silver lining to everything, but you have to set steps for yourself, set little goals, and you do. People are there to help you, but they're not there to carry you.
Hey, David, I wanted to share the screen real quick.
Yeah.
And show people. Here, let me. I have to make sure I get the right page first. We're doing our call, but I want to show everyone our offer that we have in the shop.
There
we go.
I've been sitting on this chair for too long.
Yep, that's what happens. It starts to hurt.
I got a new chair too. The other one was unbalanced. I was like leaning over like this, and the arms were all messed up. And
happens. All right, so this is what I've set up for David and I. If you want to have a call with both of us or either one of us, this is on our No Permissions Patreon, patreon.com/no permissions. This is under the shop. And if you do want to sit down and have an hour call with us, here's what the offer is right now. It's $50 off. I have 5 available at $50 off, so it'll be $200 right now. That after the 5 are done, it'll go back up to $250. But we can talk about anything, any of the health stuff you want to discuss. We're not here to diagnose. We're not here to fix you, but we can offer you some options. Like from our experience, what we've seen, I'm more on I like to push the holistic side. Dave's been working in the regular medical side for so many years. He in the treatment side, so he's really good for those things. But we have I think a well-rounded way of looking at sick call. That's why I'm calling it sick call, because that's what we called it in the military.
That's why I call it work.
That's what he calls it at work too, even on the civilian side. So that's where it's at. You guys are interested, or somebody that wants to talk to some professionals, then feel free. And I'm always, it doesn't have to be structured. You want to talk about something, we'll talk about it. If you have heart disease and you want to discuss your options of heart disease, we'll help you do the research. Or why not? We'll do those kind of things. We can do it right on the call. So this is a new direction that No Permissions is going in. It is No Permissions Health and Wealth. I've been focusing on the wealth side for so many years. I neglected my own health, right? And now for the last 2 years, I've been in the process of fixing my own body. Right now, I'm on day 6 of a fast. Tomorrow is day 7, right? I'm serious. I'm not playing around. So I'm willing to help people on the journey as well, whether it's from recovery or, drug abuse or, whatever you guys got. It's just, we have to charge for it. It's got to respect our time. David's got a farm to run. So we want to make it serious. So, hey, Clint Trones is in the house. Haven't seen you in a while, buddy. Nice.
Yeah, and just for the record, guys, I am still actively practicing as a paramedic. So my license is current, and I do follow all the HIPAA rules. So if you come and talk to me about why it burns when you pee or the fungus on your feet or anything else, it's going to be between me and you, and that's it. I'm not going to spout off about, if Randy talks to me about something, I'm not going to sit there and bring it up. Oh, Randy came and talked to me about this, that, and the other. That's going to be completely confidential. The only thing
that's why I had to kick my son out of the room, because I don't want him telling stories.
Exactly. The closest things we'll come to get is, I'll say, like 37-year-old male. That's about it. So that's all you're going to get from me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been doing live streaming and talking in videos for so long that I've trained myself to be really good at honoring the HIPAA rules. Sometimes you would love to tell the whole story, but you can't. Like we've taken care of professional baseball players and football players over the years. I love to tell those stories, but nope, can't do it. It's wild, the stuff that you see working in the industry that I worked in.
Yeah, but just remember, I haven't met any of you hardly at all, but you are important. You're important to us. We do care. I didn't get into this profession because I definitely didn't get into this profession for the money, that's for sure. But it's because we do care and we do want to help.
And if you do have any kind of suicidal ideations or wanting to hurt yourself, call the crisis hotline. Don't rely on us to do that.
Yeah.
That's a more of an immediate situation. Yeah, you don't want to be Baker acted or held for 3 days. That's not a fun situation. How many times I check them in and I'm sitting with them going through their stuff and signing the documents, and they're like, okay, I feel better now, I want to go home. I'm like, you're not going anywhere, buddy. You're stuck here for 3 days. What? And they lose their shit. That's not a fun thing to go through. So.
Yeah. All those others are like, I appreciated the 3-day vacation.
Yeah. Some folks do enjoy it. They do.
Mm-hmm.
And the other ones that enjoyed it were the folks that were homeless, especially in the winter from upstate New York. They purposely use it like a hotel stay.
3 hots in the cot, baby. 3 hots in the cot.
That's what they did. Did it all the time, and we knew our customers.
Yeah.
We knew them by name. We knew who was going to show up on a cold night.
Yeah. I remember doing my clinical rotations in the ER, and pretty much half of that was just stocking the blanket warmer.
Yeah. But I didn't mind because it was easy patients.
Yeah.
I knew them by name, Oh, goodness. Well, David, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
If you're available next week, we'll do it again next week. If not,
yeah, no, I should be around.
All right, brother.
We got some meetings this week, but I should be in the city.
All right, cool. Well, everyone, thanks for coming out. And like I said, check out the patreon.com/no-permissions. If you guys just want to have a call with me, it doesn't have to be just about medicine stuff, but there is the $8 level. If you sign up for the whole year, we could do like a 30-minute call, but whatever you want to talk about. I don't care if it's crypto or money or living in Panama, whatever you want to talk about. But if it's a healthcare related one, serious one, where we need to do research and stuff, we got to do the more expensive one with David, because it's quite serious. We want to do it the right way. All right, David, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We'll see you guys next week.
All right.